Hello, everybody. Hello. Everybody out there that's terrified of the front row. It's okay. Those are the best parts. That's where we hid the keys for the free car. Ha ha! Joke's on you. All right. I am Jay. I am part of the house staff here along with Johanna. We're here to provide you with concession goods of liquid and solid forms. Just a couple things to know about the Comedy Sports Arena. We have restrooms there and down the hallway. We have recycling and garbage right over that way. So when you finish your concession items, please, right over that way. In case of a water landing, the emergency exits are there and over there. That's unlikely to happen. If an oxygen mask pops down in front of you, that's a real issue because the only thing up there is raccoons. So, I don't know. Let me introduce your host for the evening, Carl Wolfson. He's been doing stand-up comedy for over 40 years. Getting close to 43, might be 43, I don't know.
44.
44?
Yeah.
All right. Has it been that long since I've done this? It was like 42 years and 10 months last time I introduced him, but that's okay. I'll take 44. I'm not going to argue. He's that talented. He's done radio with KPOJ, he's done television shows, he's done late night talk shows, and he's done some fabulous teaching. And you're going to see a bunch of his students now here tonight. And so, in the spirit of remembering that they're all students, let's be supportive. Let's not heckle. Yes, the guilty-looking person with the purple beard. No, nobody told you. I'm telling you not to heckle, and I've got a microphone. Also, if you have to leave, you have to leave. But it's much more supportive if you stay for all the comics throughout the evening. So we encourage you, please stick around. We'll continue selling concessions of the alcoholic form until like the 5th comedian, then we're going to cut it off. So, don't wait too long, but don't guzzle it right down just to get more. Don't be doing that either. We don't need that. So, have a good time, enjoy, laugh, cheer, support, and put your hands together and let's welcome out Carl!
Keep it up for Jay, ladies and gentlemen. And my bearded friend in the front. Stand up, Paul. Just show the audience. We haven't... This is Portland, Oregon, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing says Portland like a purple beard. That's what I say. Good job. How are we tonight? Get a little more volume on the mic, maybe. Yeah, okay. I wanted more laughter on that joke, so more volume. Who is here to see a friend or relative tonight? As most of, oh, that's so great. This is the first of 4 showcases, 7 students per showcase, some will repeat. They have done amazing work in the last 7-8 weeks. Give them a round of applause for putting themselves out there. Yeah! Hopefully the beginning of a long journey for them. I haven't been doing this my 44th year of doing comedy, and I'm at the kind of near end of my career, so I'm a little more nostalgic, I think, than those people. I'm thinking a lot about it now. I was on Alan Thicke's show, Thick of the Night, every week, and Alan passed away suddenly. I was on Joan Rivers every other week, and Joan passed away suddenly. I kind of wish I'd been on The Apprentice. It's a whole different story there. I go to lots of places where Trump is popular. I perform in Richland, Washington occasionally. That is a joke, thank you. In 2016, I was actually eating breakfast at a diner in Richland, and the waitress had a huge Trump button on, Trump hat. And the breakfast was fine, and she came over and gave me the check, and I gave her back the check, and I said, Mexico will pay for it. And so I ate free all week in Richland. It was a lot of fun. That night, I remember that night because I was doing dog and cat material, which some comics do, and there was a woman in the back. She yelled out she had a lab. I said, what kind? She said, meth. And I go to those places. Deep South is even worse than Richland. Everyone from the Deep South here? Anyway, where are you from?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, well that's getting deep. What part of Georgia?
Atlanta.
Oh, well, Atlanta's the oasis. Good for you. I was deeper than that. I was in Pamplona, Alabama for the running of the Rednecks, and I was gored by their sharp intellect, I have to tell you. And in Alabama, frozen embryos are children, but Trump is an adult. Figure that out. Does anyone have a Trumper in their family? Anybody?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, God. Oh, listen, I didn't mean to bring the crowd down tonight. Oh, my God.
But
Yeah.
it's a friend.
It's a friend?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Where do they live?
And Clackamas.
Clackamas.
Not me. You're looking right at me. No.
Oh, yeah, I heard a cell phone or something. Oh, it's me. It's fucking Trump. Jeez, that was not planned. I just enjoyed the vibration at my age.
Oh, you're not a woman.
It's been a long time. Couple hours. So we have Aunt Fern. She's the last Trumper in our family to be alive. She lives in Texas. Aunt Fern is 95 years old, always complaining nobody ever calls her, so I got her one of those "How am I driving" bumper stickers. And okay, you're gonna have to get these faster for the rest of the conversation. The phone hasn't stopped ringing for her. She's clueless, like most Trump people. She's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I will say that. At 94, she's always been for the Cowboys. We were down there about 6 Thanksgivings ago. She's watching the game in the den. We hear "Touchdown Cowboys!" Like 20 seconds later, we hear "Touchdown Cowboys!" And Aunt Fern is the instant replay. They scored 1 time. Go out and fuck up traffic. All right, now, you guys ready for some great comedy tonight? This is their night. These are students I've had for 2 or 3 classes, and a mixture of those who've taken their first class here at Comedy Sports, and they're all just wonderful. Please welcome our first comic tonight, hilarious, Mike Shriver, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Mike Shriver!
Oh, hi everybody. The cane is just for sympathy. Hoping to get everybody on my side. I didn't want to bring the one with the hook on it because I thought somebody might use that to get me off the... So I'm Mike, hi.
Hi, Mike.
Yes, hi. I should start off by mentioning that I'm gay. And not that you should care about that in the scheme of things, but it's going to play into some of what follows. So it's a little bit of bookkeeping, we get that out of the way. I thought of just coming out with like a big sign that said gay, or maybe one of those sandwich boards they used to have, like gay, gay, you know. But anyway, in between shows, I had a beard for about a month. I thought it might be the last beardless guy in Portland, so I tried it. But it didn't really look good. It was kind of splotchy, and my friends were very diplomatic about it. They kind of landed on the side of, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. Except that one of them kind of gave things away when she asked, "Did you grow it on purpose?" And so, you know, and it was very uncomfortable. I got rid of it. It was itchy. It was the most uncomfortable beard since Liza Minnelli. There was one other time when I had a very uncomfortable beard. It was in college, and her name was Claudia. If you don't know, most people know this probably, the beard is the pretend girlfriend of a gay man, you know. So Claudia and I were the 2 unattached people in this big group of friends. And usually when there are 2 people left over unattached, that's for a reason, usually. But we kind of got assigned to each other, you know. And I was too young really to know enough to say, no, this is no, we're not doing this. So I sort of tried to play the role of her boyfriend. She was always a little frustrated and disappointed that I wasn't more romantic. And, being a math major in college, my response was to draw a graph of our relationship. And she didn't think that was romantic either. So I kind of put an end to it before I tormented her any further. But a few years later, I had come out and I was living in Houston. And I had a straight friend who was a good friend, and I went to a party at his house. I didn't really know anybody, and after a little while, people were coming up to me. One person came up and said, "Hi, you're Mike, aren't you? I heard you were gay." And I said, "Well, yes, I am, And somebody else had come up, and I said, "Hi, I'm Mike." And they said, "Oh, you're gay, aren't you?" And I realized that my friend was over in the other corner of the room telling everybody, "That's my friend Mike, he's gay." And I realized I was his gay trophy friend. And, it was still kind of a novelty at that time for people to be out. And I realized, as I looked around, that I wasn't the only trophy friend he had. So I looked around, and there was one Native American, and there was one person of color. It looked like a Republican convention. But he was a good friend. We worked at Radio Shack when there used to be Radio Shack. And that was probably part of my long relationship I've had with technology. I eventually became a web developer. It all started probably with my grandfather, who, back when I was a little kid, he had all the tech in his time. He had a quadraphonic stereo, and he had a film projector, and he developed film in the basement in a dark room. He taught me to develop film. And I think he had one of those things you could look into it, and if you squeezed it the right way, you saw naked people. I wasn't allowed to look at that. What I had was the Sears catalog. That's all we had back then. In the underwear section. Grown men in their underwear looking like they're going to do something vaguely athletic. Outside. In Chicago, where Sears is. But it was probably because of my grandfather. I took a computer class in high school. And we had like terminals hooked up to IBM across town. And everything just printed out on the terminal. So you run a program, you had to say, get the program, run the program, kill the program. And we all decided one day we were going to play a prank on our teacher. Her name was Miss Janetchak, and we called her Miss J. And we were going to print out a big banner that said, "Miss J is a," and it would say, "illegal statement in line 300. And when you're in high school, that's the kind of thing that's funny. So we thought, so we were going to do this. We ran the program, and we called it Miss J, and we saved it. We printed it out, and we went to put it in her cubby hole. Now I should explain, a cubby hole is not something dirty. There have been some people wondering about this. No, it's the slot where the teachers get their mail. So we put it in her cubby hole, except the labels were confusing. So we actually ended up putting it in the wrong teacher's cubby hole. So he takes it out, and he starts reading it. And the first thing he sees is the commands we did to run the program. And it says, "Get Miss J, run Miss J, kill Miss J." And we were lucky it was the 70s. Because today it would be SWAT teams, lockdowns, and who knows what. But all we had was the teacher ran and told the principal what was going on, and he came to us. He said, "That's kind of funny, but don't do that again." I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to write material for this performance, and you can tell how much time I spent writing this. And because at this time of year, I also work in an income tax office. And
Thank you for your service.
and I wasn't sure if I would have time, and I thought, well, you know, there's lunches. I could write during the lunch, you know. So, did you ever try to write comedy in an income tax office? You know, there's two people over here talking about like the best way to keep financial records, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do something with that, okay. And you know, there's two people over here talking about the implications of the recent tax credit, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a bit, that's definitely a bit. So all this will be in my big income tax set. Mike's big income tax set. And, you know, I work in the tax office. I don't drive. I've said in the other time I was up here, I don't have a car, and I don't drive, so I always take the bus home from the tax office. I've learned over the years not to run for the bus, because I always hurt myself. I hurt this heel here, not the one that's injured right now. This heel here I hurt a couple of months ago, running for the bus. The worst time was one time when it was at night and it was dark and I was on Burnside and I was going toward the bus stop and I saw the bus coming and I started to run for it. And I didn't realize that I was like at a curb and I just went flop right over into the street and I landed on this hand. And it was like all mangled and broken and it looked like this. And I'm laying in the street and I looked up at the bus and it was the wrong bus. So I just, you know, I sort of waved, it was like, no. Keep going. You're not the bus I want, no. So eventually, you know, I got up and sort of, you know, composed myself a little and the ambulance came. And I showed my hand to the EMT. And he said, all he said was, "You're Mike, aren't you? I heard you were gay." Thank you.
Mike Shriver, ladies and gentlemen, come on, yeah. Keep it going, good work for Mike, that's a great set, come on. Yeah. So I'm also gay. We're going to see some straight people tonight. It is Portland, we have a couple straight people. My husband Gary and I are celebrating our 27th anniversary this year, which I think is great. And Gary is 14 years younger than me and very athletic. He climbed Mount St. Helens, so next day I made it halfway up Mount Tabor. Had a terrible bike accident 3 years ago, max tracks in the rain, and tibial plateau fracture. It's just a couple operations, really bad, and you know, hospital bed in the living room for 4 months and crutches, and he was sitting on our front porch with a walker. And I know the people across the street are going, "That's the young one." I thought it was the old fuck. It's a wonderful marriage. I had to get him, the hardest thing is getting him by my very right-wing mother in Florida all those years ago. Because my mom, you may know my mom. God bless her, but you know. I'd go down there to visit her in Florida. She accidentally bleached my Obama t-shirt, so I set fire to her Glenn Beck Christmas sweater. That's pretty much our relationship. And So I brought Gary down to meet my fox washing mother in '98, and she just looked across the table. Which one of you is gay? It's like, okay. Which she followed up with, well, we didn't have homosexuals in the 1950s. You know? I said, well, somebody put the fins on those Cadillacs, you know. Somebody did those beehive hairdos. We have a friend in Portland, Jenny, who's a lesbian. I know it's shocking for Portland, but she also has a very right-wing mother in Florida, and she said, when I came out to my mother, I told my mother I'm a lesbian, and her mother went, what's next, Jenny? Heroin? Lesbianism, the gateway drug. Okay. My mother's favorite line to me, she goes, don't go to therapy, they just blame it on the mother. All right, you ready for more comedy? We got a great show tonight. I love all my students, they work so hard, and this woman is just so pure and so natural. She's herself on stage and extremely funny, with great observations about the city we love. Please welcome April Hassan, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, hi, I'm April, and I'm from Portland. And that kind of feels like some sort of admission, like I'm an alcoholic or something.
Hi, April.
Hi. But you go to a party and people look at you like some wise old sage, like, dude, you're from Portland? Whoa, like, what was it like when it was cool? Or like, someone who's been here 5 minutes is like, yeah, man, it's not what it used to be. It's so expensive now. And I'm like, yeah, because of you. But sometimes even Portland out-Portlands itself, though, where I'm just like, really, like, I can't even believe that it's really like a show of Portlandia, like that show. You just walk down the street. Like, did those writers even get paid to write that show? They were just kind of walking down the street. Like Portland, where young people go to retire, we just kind of make up jobs here. It's kind of like Hogwarts. Okay, I know a guy who's into rolfing, and if you don't know what rolfing is, it's using the Earth's gravitational pull to heal people. That's a job here. I have a friend who is into plants and photography, and so she makes plant holders out of camera lenses, sells them on Etsy. That's a job here. I know someone who's like, I want to get out of corporations. I hate corporations. So I'm going to get into dog massage. Do you know anyone who needs a dog massage? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know anyone who needs a dog massage. But Portland's always out-Portlanding itself, and so I recently took a modern dance class at Deacon Street Theater, and even the warm-ups, they were saying woo-woo. That was even woo-woo. They were like, woo, woo. I'm like, don't know what I got myself into here. And the instructor's like, can I interrupt your conversations around anti-capitalist society for a moment and, bring it in. Let's talk about the space. And this is a special wood floor, like the air underneath it burps out as you dance upon it. And if I were wood, I'd want to be a dance floor and have people dance upon me. And like, so let's touch the floor, feel the floor, and taste the floor, maybe lick the floor. And I'm like, why am I licking floor on a Friday? Like, why did I pay for this? And then she keeps going, and she's like, so now we're gonna do an acknowledgement. I'm like, cool, land acknowledgement. No, she's like, let's do an acknowledgement of the space. This used to be a silent movie theater. How does that make you feel? And I'm like I'm dancing in a silent movie theater? I don't know. And it's all white ladies, because it's Portland, so it's a bunch of white ladies. And one of them's like, I feel pleasure. This makes me feel pleasure because it was a place of pleasure, and I'm going to dance with pleasure today. And then another white lady's like, no, I feel trauma. I am traumatized because black people weren't allowed here, so I'm traumatized. And then someone's like, well, actually, this was a Nordic shipbuilding community, and Vanport was over there. Nope, trauma. I'm traumatized. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we're about to watch my favorite Portland sport, a woke white lady battle. In the corner over here, we have woke white lady number 1. Her name is Ginkgo biloba. She weighs in at vegan. She's from rural Iowa, because there's no other Iowa. She drives a Prius, but it has studded tires. She complains about the cost of rent, but she's a landlord. And she recycles, but doesn't use Ridwell. And in the corner over here, corner number 2, we have woke white lady number 2. Her name is Namaste. She is from California because obviously. But she hitchhiked here, so it's okay. She knows how to pump her own gas, but she doesn't because she wants to make jobs for everyone. Can't do that. And she drives a Lesbaru, which for those of you who don't know, it's a Subaru that identifies as lesbian. Ding ding, let's get ready to rumble! So, Ginkgo biloba comes up swinging like, Namaste, what are you reading right now? I'm reading Me and White Supremacy. I'm reading White Fragility. I'm reading How to Be an Anti-Racist. Well, my baby's reading Anti-Racist Baby. The baby looks up from its organic cashew milk like, leave me out of this. Well, I have a Black Lives Matter sign in my yard. Well, I have a Black Trans Lives Matter sign in my yard. Well, I have a Black Trans Unicyclist Lives Matter in my yard. I have a non-sexist ex's named Alexis sign in my yard. And this goes on for like 8 more hours until I'm so exhausted I just decide to leave. And I decide to go get stoned. But have you been to a pot store in Portland? They're terrifying. Like, they're all named like Cannabis or something. And some totally stoned person comes out, they call them a bud tender. Back in my day, they were called a drug dealer, but now they take their jobs really seriously. And they're like, oh yeah, what do you want? And I'm like, yeah, I would like to get stoned. No. Like, what kind of stone do you want to get? They're like, do you want indica or sativa? And I'm like, I want to get stoned. No, serious question. Do you want to watch Pink Panther while vacuuming? Or do you want to listen to Led Zeppelin while hula hooping? And I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to go on a roller coaster while chewing gum. And so I usually leave empty-handed because I'm so overwhelmed. But my favorite thing about Portland is telling people that you live here, and your friends and family get really worried. Like, oh, you live in Portland? Are you okay? It's so scary there. Like, the riots. Like, Portland's on fire, the riots. Oh. And I'm like, oh, the riots? Oh, do you mean the protest festivals? Protest festivals, we have this every weekend. It's like the farmer's market. Like, we're always mad about something. So, like, I like to go personally down to the protest festival in my, like, light-up roller skate wheels with my friends and our, like, tiaras and tutus. And there's a drag queen there in 8-inch heels. And you know it's not dangerous if a drag queen in 8-inch heels is there. They can't run. There's like a bubble machine, and they're projecting like Star Wars onto the federal building, selling t-shirts and kombucha and face painting. And then the mayor comes by for ceremonial tear gassing, like, I didn't know my own police force was gonna tear gas me, and it's so sad, but then it's okay, because a therapy llama comes and soothes us. Burning Man.
April Hassan, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep it going, April. You know what's great about my students is 7 weeks ago, none of them spoke English. That's what this class will do for you, ladies and gentlemen. PortlandComedy.com if you'd like to sign up and be as funny as Mike and April and everybody else on the show. I actually saw something in Portland. Speaking of Portland, that I've never seen. I've been here 23 years. I saw a car with Washington plates going the correct way down a one-way street. Unbelievable. Anyone from Washington here, I should ask? Oh, welcome. Yeah, congratulations on your car today. Weidler thanks you. Where in Washington are you from? Oh, Camas. I thought he said Texas. Camas, they're very nice. They had a nice old theater down there, Camas, right? Okay, thanks. We just people in Oregon answer questions. I know I singled out Washington. I want to say something very complimentary about Washington. Washington voters did something in 2012 no other state has done or probably will do. On the same election day in 2012, Washington staters approved legalized pot and gay marriage. Give it up for them. Come on. Which was just telling the rest of us that people have been reading the Bible incorrectly. Leviticus says if a man sleeps with a man, he should be stoned. All right, I think you've had enough comedy. That's it. All right, so joining us now, gentlemen, I've gotten to know, this is first class with me. I think he's terrific, and he talks politics, or a bit about politics, which I do, and I love. Please welcome D.P. Shane, ladies and gentlemen. Bring him out. D.P.
Good evening. I'm D.P. Shane. And yeah, it's true. I came to talk a little bit about politics, but first I want to tell you that I'm a writer. And I love being a writer. And one of my favorite things about being a writer is you get to break the rules. And I made up my own word, and I love it. It's called Repiphany. It's when you have the same epiphany more than once. And I bring this up because, you know, this election year is kind of looking kind of dark. You know, I hate to say it, but somebody we don't like might become president. It's a good chance. And, you know, I am a moderate, I'm politically moderate. I never know who to vote for. And moving here was kind of interesting. Where I came from, where I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, people kind of looked at me like I was some kind of conservative asshole. And so I moved out to the Central Valley for about 15 years, and everybody thought I was some kind of liberal asshole. And there's really no winning at just trying to, you know, vote your conscience and do what's right. So I moved here because I figured, well, why not just be in the middle? So, you know, it's not easy. There's a lot of things that kind of have to take into consideration. You know, when I first moved here, it was just before the 2022 midterms. And so I tuned in. And the Democrat who was running for Congress said she wanted to throw a wrench into the works in Washington. I said, okay. And then I heard the Republican say that candidate, he didn't want to connect public transportation to Portland to Vancouver because it would be tantamount to creating an Antifa superhighway. And that's stupid because everybody knows if Antifa wants to invade the Couve, they're going to ride their bicycles anyway. So, I'm just kind of cruising along, trying to get the feel for things, and it's a lot of radicalism here. Everybody's a radical, right-wing radical, left-wing radical, and I understand, it's like to become a radical, people will prey on your fear to radicalize you, and then once they know what you're afraid of, well, then they're going to get you to hate what you fear. And soon you find yourself surrounded by people who hate the same things you do, and you realize, oh, this feels good. And so what do people get to hate? It's like, if you're on the right, well, you get to hate big government, you get to hate special interest groups, you get to hate liberals, mostly people live in cities, and you get to hate moderates. If you're on the left, well, you get a whole different group of people that you can hate. You get to hate special interests, you get to hate big government, you get to hate conservatives, mostly farmers and ranchers, and you get to hate moderates. But when you back off of all that, and you kind of let the issues blur, and you start to realize that what it really comes down to is that the people who live in the cities hate the people who grow their food. And the people who grow food hate the people who buy their food. So I came up, this conflict is of biblical proportions. So I think the simplest thing to do is to stop eating. Just hit those farmers and ranchers in the wallet, make it hurt. So, but it's kind of stupid at the same time, because you've got abject capitalism won't work, abject socialism won't work. Abject capitalism, you're like, thank you for calling 911. Please have your insurance card or your credit card number ready. For a list of forensic services, hit 2. For a list of investigative services, hit 3. For a price schedule, hit 4. Well, nobody really wants that. But, abject socialism doesn't work any better. Thank you for calling 911. We know someone's in your house. We know who he is. And this person has, click, 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 committed multiple homicides. But due to budgetary constraints and staffing shortcomings, we suggest you just try and be nice. So you see, it won't work, And moving here, I don't know, I live in Vancouver. I kind of wish I lived in Portland, but I can't. It's a long story. Trying to date at my age as a moderate is kind of difficult. I met this one woman. She was a couple years older than I am. Beautiful woman, dancer's body, 5'2", eyes of blue. She liked AC/DC covered bands. And I tell her, it's like, I like live jazz. In fact, I tell her this club that I went to back east when I was in the service. It was an all-black nightclub. And it was its most unique sound. It was like you'd only hear that sound if you were in that place on that night. You could hear that tune, because after that it was gone. And she looks at me and she says, well, I'm not a racist, but... And suddenly, she had the biggest butt ever. And no matter how hard I tried to look at it, I could see no future for myself in that butt. So, you know, I kind of scratched her off my list and kind of went along my way and joined one of those interweb dating sites. And this woman pings me, we start chatting online. I go to meet her and, you know, she said she was 50, but she was really only 42. And then she starts to explain to me that she's a millennial and I'm a boomer. And everything is my fault. Pollution is my fault. 3 Mile Island was my fault. John Cougar Mellencamp was my fault. And I mean, worst of all, I mean, the more I listened to her, the more it kind of made sense. But it was still kind of strange. It was like, even Richard Nixon was my fault. I was 11. Maybe if I was 13, I would have known what to do. But it was just kind of, you know, it's my cross to bear. I mean, it's all my fault. It's true, you know, so I'm sorry. And this is my show, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm very sorry.
In King's State, ladies and gentlemen. DP! Keep it going. Good job. I am also a boomer, and I add my apologies. I'm sorry to all of you. DP, we're deeply sorry, aren't we?
Yes.
Actually, one of my favorite politicians, a Republican in the 1950s and early 60s, Margaret Chase Smith, Republican moderate. You ever hear those words together, do you? From the state of Maine, against Joseph McCarthy, reached across the aisle. Not like Lauren Boebert, but she reached across the aisle. Dirty crowd, you're such a dirty. And she was also, she had the great sense of humor. That's why I loved her. And I think politicians now, I think maybe it's hard to have a good sense of humor today. But very few politicians have it. I wish we had more. I wish they would take this class. PortlandComedy.com and the politicians out there. But Margaret Chase Smith was the best. A reporter, she was often mentioned as the first possible woman president in the 50s. And a reporter asked her one day, said, Senator Smith, what would you do if you woke up and found yourself in the White House? She said, I would get dressed, run downstairs, apologize to Mrs. Eisenhower, and leave. All right, have a hand for this guy coming back from the bathroom. I think he did a good job for all of us. Did you enjoy the show, sir? Better than pissing in your pants, I'll tell you. Just, bathrooms are down the hall. It's a good thing to do. I applaud you, sir. So, our next act, just so naturally funny, and when students come to my class, and I can tell their style is who they are. They just have a natural style that's innately funny, and I think most of my students fit into that category. He certainly does. Please welcome Calvin Jennings, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin!
It's always nice being called naturally funny. That's another way of saying I'm ugly, so thank you. It's okay, I'm a little drunk tonight. Anyone else a little drunk tonight? It's important to know what kind of drunk you're dealing with. There's bro inebriated. That's when you have someone drinking IPAs, backwards hat, Jaeger bombs. Hot girl drunk. That is White Claws, skinny martinis, social media, hashtag white girl wasted. My personal favorite is Hungover Drunk. Hungover Drunk is Bloody Marys, aspirin, lots of regret from the night before. But I'm just a little classy drunk. If you're unfamiliar, classy drunk is wine and cheese. Let's give it up for wine and cheese. I was actually at a wine and cheese festival earlier today. Wine and cheese is terrific. Great place to bring a date. Very romantic. Rotting fruit juice. Hard cheese that smells like a foot. Very, very romantic. It gets me pumped up though. When I say wine, you say cheese. Wine! Cheese! Wine! Cheese! Anyone else peak in high school? I'm actually wasn't even that popular in high school. I think I actually peaked in elementary school. It's been a tough life, but it's nice to hit a peak. I was an honor roll, king of tetherball, student council, just elementary school is my jam. I don't know if you remember, around 4th grade, they actually do placement exams. See how much the system has fucked you up? I did pretty well on those tests. I tested at 12th grade reading level, 12th grade math level, 12th grade English level. It's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, they wanted to skip me forward in school, and even little 4th grade Calvin knew I was not that guy. You just kind of have a feeling of who you are. I've always kind of known who I am. I'm not that guy. To be honest, I was also terrified of getting beat up, getting bullied. It was a big epidemic in the early 90s. Always snow movies and bullies. I remember as a little kid making a wish, I want to be big. Be careful what you wish for. They're not all Tom Hanks overnight situations. But we flash forward to middle school. They re-give us those exams. By this time, no longer an honor roll. Maybe a couple advanced classes. But I've met buddies. Buddies are important in middle school because you're very awkward. Don't know what you're doing. But you get a group of buddies around you, you figure it out. Mostly you figure out how to rob your parents of alcohol, beer, any other goodies you find in the medicine cabinet. We also had a very distinct way of communicating in middle school. This was before memes were popular. And basically, we would just yell movie quotes at each other. That's how we communicated. It was almost exclusively Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey quotes. It worked for us. They give us that placement exam again. 11th grade reading, 11th grade math. Still want to bump me ahead, but I got lifelong buddies. I'm not abandoning them. No man left behind was my philosophy. Flash forward to high school, many friends left behind. No more advanced classes. But we have discovered girls. And now there's high school wasted. High school wasted is any alcohol you get your hands on. Goldschlager for some reason. And you're just pumped to the gills with hormones making you make incredibly bad decisions. High school wasted is very fun and very dangerous. Placement exams again. 10th grade reading. 10th grade math. 9th grade English. Sometimes you just have to accept what you are. I didn't choose to be a dummy. It comes with a lot of advantages, but I didn't choose it. Any more than I didn't choose to be a straight white man. No applause for that, Portland. There's like 4 of us left. You need to didn't choose to be dumb. I didn't choose to be straight. Being dumb is on a spectrum. Sexuality is on a spectrum. Love is on a spectrum. I don't know if you watch that show, great show on Netflix. Honestly, if I could choose, I'd probably choose to be a little smarter. Like, I love conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories to dummies are just catnip, man. It's just, I eat it up. Oh, jet fuel can't melt steel beams? I'm not an engineer, tell me more. Denver International Airport is in the shape of a swastika, so the New World Order knows in the tunnels to create the new human race after the old human race. I've been through DIA, they got some new tunnels, so keep me in the know. The Earth is flat. I mean, I don't know if anyone's climbed a mountain, but you can see a curve, but yeah, the Earth is flat. Gravity isn't real. Scientists are bullshit. As a dumb person, scientists are kind of bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And as a large guy, fuck gravity right now. Sign me up. Earth is flat. The world's rich and powerful fly out to a secret island to get into sexual deviancy. You know, sometimes there's kernels of truth out there. But dumb is a spectrum, very similar. Sexuality is a spectrum. I'm a straight man. I would choose to be gay if I had a choice. Just straight up gay dude, they have it figured out, man. I'm jealous. They tend to dress better. Their apps are so much cooler than straight people's apps. And they got all kinds of cool names. As a chubby, kind of hairy dude, I'd be a bear. I don't know if you're familiar, but that is fucking cute. Bear? Oh my god. As a straight guy, you know what they call me? Chubby, little hairy? An incel. I don't know what that is either, but I don't know part of it, I know that. Trying to get better though. I'm getting older. That means you gotta try more. Thanks for reminding me my lasagna's done. I'm trying to get better. I need a lot of help though. I'm not dumb in the way where someone has to, I don't have to ruin my sister's life and she has to stay home with me and make sure I don't plug forks in the electrical outlet or something like that. But I also don't know how to explain how a phone works. It's kind of like black magic. On that spectrum of dumb, I'm probably closer to needing help at home than engineering to break your phone. It's fine. The phone's actually pretty helpful. It works really well for a dumb guy. I have an AI app called Anna that is awesome. Tells me where I need to go, when I need to be there, how to get there, what I'm doing while I'm there. It gives me, when I'm feeling down, it shows me funny little cat videos, which is fun. Honestly, it's probably the best relationship I've ever had if I could just find a way to fuck that phone. Probably the longest relationship I've ever had. I just signed a 2-year contract. We're locked in. I don't know if so it's hard to properly explain yourself when you're a dummy. So let's ask Anna for a little bit of help here. Anna, can you help them understand how dumb I am?
You are smart enough to know how to read, but you prefer to look up new weird stuff on www.pornhub.com.
A little too honest sometimes. You never share your search history, you know. Just because I'm dumb doesn't mean I'm not curious. I'm trying to improve. January 1st is great for dummies. It's a reset button. All the stupid shit you've done all year. January 1st. I'm gonna be good. Fucking, I don't even know what a pizza is starting January 1st. I'm also 40. I'm understanding I need to find that life partner I haven't found yet. As a dumb guy, I think there's kind of 4 routes to success for finding the love of your life, your partner, person you want to be the rest of your life with. A beard. I don't have a strong beard. Luckily, you're a little bit far away, but kind of looks like pubes or duct tape to my face. It is what it is. Another route is wealth. I work in senior living, so that's out of the question. Not that I'm saying girls are gold diggers or anything like that. There's just a lot of comfort that comes with wealth. It's just stability. It's security. It's very important for a relationship the older you get. I didn't give a fuck about security when I was 20, but apparently it's a thing now. So I'm left with 2 options. Getting really physically fit, get that dad bod on, or develop a personality. Fucking, I don't want to read anything, so I think I joined the gym January 1st. I got all pumped up for the gym January 1st. New me, new me, new me. Loaded up protein shake, got my creatine in, pre-workout. That's gym bro wasted for those unfamiliar. Proceed to stretch, get all pumped up, get on the treadmill, do my 5 minutes, do about half a burpee, and I realize there's probably something to this whole personality thing. I was lucky enough to find Carl's class. He's helping me develop a personality. I work in senior living. It's very sad when you get old. You don't want to lose the love of your life, so you don't want to die alone. So the goal is to find that life partner. Die, try to within like the first 5 days of each other is really the goal. But what I've learned is I may get winded going up the stairs, but if I can make you laugh till you pee, we're gonna have a pretty good relationship. And in senior living, everyone loses the ability to walk upstairs. That goes away. But you never lose your ability to laugh, and you're still gonna pee yourself. It's important to continually to try to improve yourself. I've been using Annie to improve myself. Annie, on a scale of 1 to 10, give it to me straight. What am I? To the opposite sex.
Analyzing. You are a 3.2 on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's not what I wanted to hear. But she has her reason. Annie, why do you say that?
You look like Chris Farley ate David Spade.
Well, that was rude. Any other reason?
And you have wine stains on your teeth and smell like a French cheese had sex with a foot.
I got the solution. Sometimes it's not who you are, it's where you are. Sometimes that's where you are in life. Sometimes that's physically where you are. I have an idea. Too many people in Portland. Lowers my stop. Annie, I'm not in Portland. I'm somewhere rural, closed off community. Not very many attractive people. I'm in Tillamook, Oregon. Andy, I'm in Tillamook, Oregon. Analyze me, what am I?
Analyzing. You are a Tillamook 10.
Andy, why am I a 10 in Tillamook?
You have a job, all your teeth, and you have never fucked a cow.
Thank you, that's my time.
Calvin Jennings, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going. I just, I'm getting him his first booking in Tillamook next week. And, not just cheese anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Great work, everybody. Great show so far. We got 3 more comics. You enjoyed it? Yeah. Relationships are great. After 27 years, mine's still really good, although the dinner conversations, thinning a little bit. Last week, Gary says, is there anything worse than hard butter? Thinking genocide? He said something really funny last month. I said, you should take my class. He goes, well, I've taken that class. Thank you for getting that. There was a little pause there. Is there a time delay between me and the second row there? Welcome back. Stuart's in my class, and Stuart, what nights are you performing?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. March 8th, also March 17th, March 24th, 3 more shows, hope you show up. PortlandComedy.com is the place. Yeah, PortlandComedy.com tonight. Sign up for the show. I'm going to take these kids on the road. Coming to the stage now, a friend of mine, a woman who has taken this class twice. She's just absolutely wonderful. She crafts incredible sets, and as an actress as well. You're going to really enjoy her. Please, Catherine Cushing, ladies and gentlemen. Catherine Cushing!
Wow, some somewhat hard acts to follow here, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to break it down just a little bit because I've got something kind of serious that I want to talk about. And I'm going to do it right here in front of you guys, in front of you all right now. I'm going to come out. Kind of scary, I'm kind of vulnerable, but here goes. I'm an atheist. Not an agnostic. I'm not hedging my bets in case I get it wrong. Bet you thought I was going to say lesbian, didn't you? Well, also true. But not as scared. Now, I've learned a few things since coming out as an atheist. The first thing is, people find it really uncomfortable. I mean, they would rather, I believe, in an amorphous, omnipotent being who has absolute control over all of our lives throughout eternity. They're more comfortable with that. Whatever, I don't get it, but okay. The other thing I've learned about being an atheist is that it's often not very funny. If I were Jewish, I could, tell those Jewish mom jokes. Those are so great. Catholic jokes. I had the Pope jokes and the birth control and all that. That'd be great. Well, look at me. I'm not telling any, black, Hispanic, or Asian jokes. Not using those idioms. I get that. That would be wrong. That would be cultural appropriation. It is wrong to use someone else's ethnicity or race or culture to beef up my own stand-up act. I understand that. But what people don't get is it puts me at a huge disadvantage. What's my culture? there's that salad where you mix Jell-O with Cool Whip. My cultural heritage right there. Or Frito pie, which is delicious, but you know, Frito pie. Yeah, I come from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where people are hospitable and friendly, unless you disagree with their God-given, constitutionally protected right to carry guns to Sunday school. But otherwise, pretty dull. You know, where are my idioms? Where are my jokes at my people's expense? You know, I get Cool Whip salad and Frito pie. Not fair. But, you know, coming from the state of Oklahoma, I've got to say, there aren't a lot of great things to say about that state. Right now, it's putting itself on the map, refusing federal funding, free federal funding, to feed children lunch during the summer. Classy move, Oklahoma. But what we did have in Oklahoma when I was growing up was fluoride in the water. Which is why I have such great teeth. Yeah, here in Oregon, we don't have fluoride in the water here. That's because the anti-fluoride people, you know, they really hate putting chemicals in their bodies. Treat their bodies like temples and all, you know, no chemicals. And I know my education may not have been the best in Oklahoma, but aren't there a bunch of chemicals in kombucha? Yeah, but the anti-fluoride folks, they haven't really gotten their issue to reach national prominence. You know how your issue has really made it? Get your own presidential candidate. It's true. Back in the day, before the Christian hard right became mainstream, they had cuddly old Pat Robertson running for president. Yeah, the progressives, they get Bernie, Elizabeth Warren. Remember Marianne Williamson? She's the woo-woo community candidate. Anti-vaxxers have bagged themselves a Kennedy. That surprised me. I thought they'd be done by now. Especially since vaccines just saved humanity from like a Mad Max dystopia situation. But no, they're running for president. Yeah, but enough politics. I want to talk about my kids. I'm looking at you.
Bring it.
I'm looking at you. Actually, there's a whole faction of my adult children and my teenage grandson who won't come watch me perform stand-up. Yeah. When did they become so squeamish? I think the 3-year-old granddaughter would come, but her mom won't drive her. Yeah, I mean, what are they so scared of? That I'll talk about them on stage? Okay, fair. Or maybe it's the thong joke. Really, there's not a thong joke. It's more of a thong. Why? Why the thong? You know, I mean, do we really need tan buns? Do they get shown off a lot? I don't know. In my experience, about 90% of the people exposing their buttocks do not really have the sort of buttocks one wants to see. Back where I come from, thongs are shoes for feet. Flip flops. Okay? Nobody looked at you funny if you said, hey, toss me my thong over there. Nobody looked at you funny. Yeah. Now I know, though. Now I know. Thongs are flossed in the butt. I have enough trouble keeping my teeth flossed. No. Oh, and also, excuse me, what about you men? I don't see you men out there exposing your buttocks. And you gay guys, pool parties, you don't count. young women, I would suggest that you do not put the thongs back on until all these men here commit to wearing them themselves. Yeah. I think that could be an new feminist issue. So, I'm retired. Yeah, I'm retired from pretty much everything. Not this, I guess, but pretty much everything else. I think retirement's kind of a hard phase. Even the word retirement, retiring, when I think about the word retire, I think about going to bed. You know, is that what retirement is? Just the big sleep? Lying back, waiting to die? Yeah, well, I admit, I get kind of concerned sometimes when I realize my only meaningful human contact some days has been with scammers. They call, they text, they email. They always want to talk. They're super attentive. They ask a lot of questions. Who says conversation is dead? You know, and some of that might have been with AI bots. I don't know. I don't think I can tell the difference. You know, people are pretty terrified of AI. I'm not really. I think it could be really useful. I mean, you could program an AI bot to be responsive and compliant. Wouldn't that be cool for parents of teenagers? But the best use of AI bots, I think, would be for all of our boomer men. Oh, you love the boomer men out there? Yeah, you could program one of those bots to ask for advice about anything. Anything. You know, movies to see, you know, weather, vacations, thongs, anything. Anything. And then you just turn it on and let it go. God, that would be a time saver. You know, no more nodding and listening and nodding appreciatively. You get so much stuff done. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot about boomers. The reason is because some of my best friends are boomers. Okay, I'm also a boomer. Yeah. I think we get a really bad rap. Yeah, I do. I agree. I think we get a really bad rap. We are. We're getting blamed for everything. Blamed for climate change. Blamed for divisive politics. Blamed for that you know, that neon orange dusty stuff that goes on the Cheetos and then the mac and cheese and stuff. Just everything. But we have made meaningful contributions. We have. For example, hippies. The boomers gave you hippies and bell-bottoms. And boomers have jump-started the electric car revolution. Yeah, that's because boomers love to drive around in tiny little electric vehicles. Yeah, golf carts. Pure boomer. Go to any retirement village near you and take a look. It's awash in golf carts. Everywhere. I myself drive a small electric vehicle. Actually, the exact same small electric vehicle that our friend Carl here drives. It's true. Yes. We both drive an adorable blue little Nissan Leaf. So cute. I almost didn't buy it though. Because the plural confounds me. What is it, leaves? Are there two blue leaves in the parking lot? Leafs? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, we're Leaf boomers, Carl and I. We are not Tesla boomers. That's an entirely different category of electric car boomer right there. Yeah, I'm not going to get involved in anything Elon Musk is doing because I think his next move is going to be taking us senior boomers and shooting us out in space. Along with the derelict Teslas. That's just not the way I want to go. No. But the best thing about driving an electric car, they don't get stolen. Who knew car thieves suffer from range anxiety? Yeah, but In the ultimate boomer move for me, though, I have recently become a vegetarian. Not a vegan. That's a food too far for me, but not eating meat. Yeah, that means eating things like black bean bake, tofu scrambled. The other day I just had a chicken patty. Working up to burger. Can't say it's too tasty, but I am living for at least not eating my values. Good. I am getting really pure though. I can feel it. I think pretty soon I'm going to become one of those old lesbians with the long flowing gray hair, the clear eyes, and they wear that chunky turquoise jewelry. and a rainbow-colored caftan over my thong. I'll be treating my body like a temple and drinking lots of kombucha. Oh, but I could be manifesting too. I can feel it. I can see it now, manifesting. Yeah, I'll be doing yoga on a deck overlooking the river. And what do I see? Drifting, drifting. A flotilla of men. All with perfectly tanned buttocks.
Catherine Cushing, ladies and gentlemen. Catherine Cushing. The Cushingettes, ladies and gentlemen, leading with Catherine. Now, Catherine, are these your kids back here? That one. Oh, he's going another one behind me. Have you seen your mom perform before?
No. Well, yes, but not this. Different performance. From when she was an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a little worried there. We were into Jerry Springer. Oh, I've seen her perform. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Really good. Good job for the round of applause. Now, what is your name?
I'm Hank.
Nick?
Hank.
Hank, were you funny growing up too? Did your mom infuse you with that? Comedic?
Yes.
Yes? PortlandComedy.com. You can sign up. I have never had a mother-son combo. Well, I have, but that's completely different. Kind of stumbled into that, didn't I? Good job. So proud of all my students. I found out today there is a group called Rageaholics Anonymous. That has to be a loud meeting. You wouldn't want to give out the feedback forms for that group. Okay. I was just waiting for everybody to get back. I really think these comics are ready to go out on the road. What, you think? Yeah. That was a hard part about doing comedy for 40 plus years, the traveling, you know. It's just like, I gave it up, you know. Last festival I did was in Chicago a couple of years ago. I had to fly on Spirit. Have you flown them? Don't! Public service announcement, don't do it! You know what I'm talking about? The seats are like this. Halfway through the flight, overhead bin popped open, 3 passengers fell out. It was the worst flight number I've ever had too. That was the cherry on the sundae. What was my flight number?
666.
66. Thank you, Casey.
Sorry.
666? No. Anybody? Come on. What? 911. Thanks for bringing the crowd up. Thank you. I want to thank all the firefighters and first responders. Thanks. No, my flight number was 5050. 4 Welcome aboard Flight 5050. We've got an even shot of getting off the runway today. All right, coming to the stage now. You ready for our last two comics? They're fantastic. Come on, get the energy up. You guys have been a great crowd. A very good friend of mine. I've known Dylan since 2010, I think, 2008, somewhere around there. Second class he's taken with me. Just a killer set the first time. No reason to think you're not going to get a killer set now. Please welcome Dylan Hides, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, so I had kind of a rough weekend this weekend. I had to give my 10-year-old son the birds and the bees talk, which is never fun. You know, we hadn't really had the talk since first grade when he asked me what cooties were, and I said, oh, those are training wheels for STDs. And, you know, that got him through a few years, but now he's in 5th grade. It's time to get some more information to him. And if I have to talk to my 10-year-old about the details of sexual intercourse, we're not going to sit across the dining room table with eyes locked. We need a distraction, so I figured miniature golf, great distraction. So we're on our way to Bullwinkle's Family Fun Center. So we get there, we're getting our clubs, we're getting our balls, and my 10-year-old's bounding around the course, and I just have this overwhelming sense of guilt. Just absolute guilt, that he has no idea that in a few moments I'm going to be murdering part of his childhood and possibly ruining Bullwinkle's for him forever. And I want to be really intentional with him, right? He's Gen Z, I want to use his lingo, so I'm really being intentional. So I want to talk to him in his language. I say, son, I want to talk to you about when a man and a woman are in Riz. Let's say we got a guy, he's got cool drip, fire looks, and his game is busting. He's him, no cap. And let's say we got this girl, she just had a glow up, right? She is extra and hits different. When guys see her, they go gyat. So these two get together, they meet up one night and it slaps. Right? She can tell right away that he's neither simp nor sus, and she can tell right away that he can tell right away that she's neither mid nor bougie. These two knew the assignment, and things are about to get out of pocket. I say, son, is my tea too cringy? And I look at his face, and he's getting it, right? And I just see this look of betrayal as he realizes this trip to Bullwinkle's has been nothing but a ruse to have this conversation. And so we go through the conversation, and we hit all the high points, but you know, you get to that point in the talk when flowery language and euphemisms aren't going to cut it. You just got to come out and you got to say it. You say, son, and that's when the man takes his penis and he puts it inside the woman's vagina. My son's face goes white. His jaw drops. He says, do you get it back? I say, yeah, you get it back over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, maybe I shouldn't, maybe 10 was too young for this. Like, maybe I should have waited until he was 23. And I'm realizing that us parents nowadays, we've gotten so good at this that my kids never have access to adult materials, right? Every screen in our house, password protected, 2-step verification, parental control apps, they can't watch anything but Bambi. Well, not that Bambi, the other Bambi. And the problem with that is, it all comes on me. I'm their sole source of information about learning about sex, and I don't want that responsibility. I mean, when I was a kid, right, we learned about sex through the materials left out by our fathers and our friends' fathers, God bless them. And by left out, sure, maybe we needed some flashlights, ladders, and picking some locks, but we got that information and we learned shit, damn it. My kids don't learn anything. My 14-year-old asked me last week what masturbation was. How does a 14-year-old not know what masturbation is? When I was 14, that's all I knew. You know, I mean, when it comes to sex, I'm told that everybody has their thing, right? We all have that thing that we're into that's weird, that somebody else thinks is weird. You know, Louis C.K. became famous for having his thing. And if you don't know, Louis C.K.'s thing is he likes to jerk off and then walk in a room of unsuspecting people. Fine, whatever. My question is, how do you learn that's your thing? Was he just home one day, jerking off, and then decided to start touring his home and then came upon some unsuspecting house guests? Like, how does it happen? There's got to be an origin story there, and I want to know about it. So I was in Chinatown recently, which, if you've been to Chinatown in the last 30 or 40 years, you know that it's the absolute armpit of Portland. And I took a date there for dinner at probably the seediest restaurant in Chinatown, right? Nothing too good for my dates. And we walk in there, we're the only souls in the restaurant, and we're eating, and halfway through the meal I realize I have to use probably the worst restroom in Portland. So I get up, excuse myself, I go in the bathroom, lock the door, it's a single-use one, I turn around, this place does not disappoint. It is filthy, it is foul. I saddle up to the urinal, start taking care of business, and then I notice something. Between the urinal and the cracked sink is a little garbage can, no more than 18 inches high, and this thing is overflowing with all the things you'd expect in Chinatown, right? Fluid-soaked bandages, broken meth pipes, hypodermic needles, used feminine products. This thing is just, I cannot look away from this thing. But then I noticed something else, and I'll never forget this. Somebody fucking tagged that trash can. Now, for those of you who don't know what tagging is, that's when you affix your street name on something, usually with spray paint. And it's usually done for one of two reasons. Either show off some type of strength or agility by rappelling down a building or off of a suspension bridge, or to get your name out there and claim your turf. This trash can was fucking tagged. You know what I'm saying? Somebody wanted to mark this as their turf. So since I've left that restaurant, I think about the name on that trash can. Blazy 8. Okay, I think about it every day. Blazy 8. What would I say to Blazy 8 if I were to meet him in person? And then a couple weeks ago, it happened. It happened. I'm at my doctor's office, and in that room, my doctor walks in and he says, "Hello, Dylan, I'm Dr. Anderson." But my friends call me Blazy 8. I couldn't believe it. I was simultaneously tongue-tied and starstruck. I didn't know what to say. I said, "Oh my God, Blazy 8, I've seen your work. Piss-stained trash can in Chinatown. It's amazing." I said, "What's next for you? What is going to be your magnum opus? Could it possibly be a Subway wrapper stuck to the sidewalk? Maybe a used condom. What's it going to be?" And he said, "Next time you're at Bullwinkle's, look in the bathroom." I have my assignment. So I asked me and the kids are going back to Bullwinkle's. I did have a rough morning this morning. I got crop dusted really bad. And I've recently discovered about half of the population don't know what crop dusting is. So let me tell you what crop dusting is. It's when somebody passes gas in a group of people and then leaves. So basically they're gone, but the remnants of their anus are left behind. And I want to make clear, I'm not shaming anybody for crop dusting. I get it. I'm not shaming. It's sometimes the needs of the human body do not comport with the environment in which we find ourselves. I get it. But I do want to establish some basic rules for crop dusting, just to, for all of us, for our own well-being. Certain places should never be crop dusted, right? Hospice wards, ICU units, right? Nobody's last breath should be your broccoli souffle that you reheated for lunch. I think we can agree on that. Elementary schools, if you're over the age of 12, right? These poor little tykes are just the wrong height for your crop dust, and most of them lack the freedom to escape to safety, all right? Leave these poor souls alone. I do want to leave you with some options, though, right? There are some good places that are actually designed pretty well for crop dusting. For example, funerals. These places are crowded, people are milling around, and then if any heat starts coming to you, you've got the corpse to blame it on, right? They usually smell and they can't even defend themselves. I do want to come back to the crop dusting I experienced this morning, which is really bad. I'm in Home Depot with my kids, and it's one of those crop dusts that you just, when you step into it, the density of the air changes. I think the temperature may have increased a couple degrees, and it's one of those terrifying moments where you're in the crop dust, and you've just exhaled, and you have no idea which way makes it better or which way makes it worse. You know, if you're not careful, panic can set in. And as I'm sitting here deciding what to do, I realize this is so bad, I'm probably not dealing with a single shooter. This is probably a family of crop dusters that have descended on me and my poor children, who are at this time clinging to my legs, looking for answers I don't have. Probably the worst crop dusting episode before today was actually pretty recently. I was on a date, and we walked into a quiet little gift shop on a Sunday morning. And it's one of those, I stepped into it, was one of those throat-clawing crop dusts, and I looked around, and I see my girlfriend is somehow not even affected by this. Then I looked around the gift shop. We were the only fucking people in the gift shop. listen, for crop dusting to work, there are two critical elements. Element number one, other people to blame it on. Element number two, an escape plan. My girlfriend lacked both of these things. So, I mean, suffice it to say, it didn't work out between us. I'm looking for a woman with a little higher level of sophistication with her crop dusting. Thank you very much.
Helen Hyde, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know what crop dusting was. And my husband's from South Dakota. I still didn't know.
I thought it was a gay term.
That's Bill, the Stefano, who's taken a couple of my classes. You thought it was a gay term? Oh my God, yeah. No, we don't fart at all. Absolutely perfect.
Ruins the ball.
One more time for Dylan, good work. And, do you get it back? Classic. Do you get it back? Is that Grace? I see. Did you just show up?
No, I've been here the whole time.
Oh, sure.
That was one of her.
Grace Ishida is taking my class too. Yeah, nice to see you,
I used
Grace.
to watch real crop dusting over our fields. I was raised a white girl on a farm.
It's all fertilizer.
You know, the problem when they leave my class is that the unsuspecting world has to deal with them. Okay, great show. We have one more comic, and she's just great. I think talking about just letting her go. When I saw Cara the first class, I thought she needs to be released into the wild. There's no way to contain her, describe her. I'll let her do it to you. Please welcome Cara James, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Cara, and I am a four-letter C word. I started working in management, and the one thing I realized about management is everybody's needs are suddenly yours. You have to cater to their families, their concerns, their wins. You got to cover for them when they call in sick. So I decided to come to this show, pay $275, so I could finally be the center of attention for 5 minutes. Yeah! So this is all about me. I am a middle child raised by 2 overbearing Catholic parents. That was fun. Very psychologically damaging. That's why I became the black sheep. And you know what the black sheep does? They make everyone else in the family look good. You are welcome. So tonight we're going to talk about some of my favorite D's. I've had lots of D's, but these are the D's we're going to discuss today. Dieting. Dieting is a roller coaster hell. And being half a century old, I've gone through this roller coaster many times. I can no longer eat grapefruit. I hate celery. Cabbage soup is off limits. Salad and I have a love-hate relationship. I recently tried the easy way, HCG. It's an injection. It leaves bruises all over your body. You follow a 500-calorie diet. Your skin looks beautiful, you drop 25 pounds and nothing flat, and you're fucking starving! Dieting leads you into getting some self-esteem because you've worked so hard. You've lost that weight, you're ready to take on the world, and now we're gonna date. Dating has proven to be more difficult the older I get. So, you either get those weirdos with mommy issues. Nobody does the drunken tumbles anymore. You fell into me, let's hook up. Forever. They don't do that. Now you gotta swipe left or swipe right. It's a crapshoot. You do not know what you're getting. I guarantee that. I mean, I thought I was weird, but fuck, these guys are weird. I went out on a date with this guy. He brings my hand up to his face and wants to pet me to pet him. What is this? Oh, we just had coffee 5 minutes ago. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Yeah. Or you never know. You know, you're going to meet for a cup of coffee. You're going to meet for dinner. Are you buying? Am I buying? Is there a hidden meaning to that? I got together with some guy to watch movies. He got pissed off and stormed out. I didn't find out later that when I text him, we could Netflix and chill. It meant we were supposed to screw. No one told me that. So I tried it the good old-fashioned way, and I met some self-proclaimed nice guy. You know what's wrong with the self-proclaimed nice guy? They're not nice. They're not nice. This guy was absolutely wonderful. I shared everything with him. He reacted correctly. I mean, intimate things, personal, private things. Sex was great. It was awesome. It was spectacular. Until I found out he never listened to a fucking word I said. That's the nice guy. My other favorite D is dicks, of course. They come in all shapes and sizes. No two are the same. Once again, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they're wonderful. Sometimes they're half-assed. Sometimes they just don't show it all. It's a crapshoot. But hey, why'd I do all the dieting and the swiping right for if I'm not at least going to try and skip the D? The biggest problem with that is, once again, you never know what kind of a crapshoot you're getting into and how big of a dick the dick really is that's attached to it. So there's a lot of things that I've learned here once you go through the dicks. Then you go to the depression, you know, gain to 30 pounds, you get to start all over again. So, I have really enjoyed myself the last few weeks. Being the center of attention. Carl actually said I could talk as long as I want tonight, so. Buckle up. One thing that I learned, besides the fact that Carl is as sheltered as I am when it comes to crop dusting, I don't watch the news, so he doesn't know what crop dusting is. Jesus. I learned about the Kinsey scale. The Kinsey scale is a scale that rates sexual fluidity from 0 to 6. So on the Kinsey scale, we have my parents. They've been married for 59 years. Shout out Mom and Dad, they did not get tired of each other. I don't know how they do it. I don't pretend to understand how that works. They've been divorced twice. I do accept it. They're definitely a 0 on the Kinsey scale, right? And then we have my oldest son and his wife. They're in a hetero marriage. She experimented right out of high school. So she identifies with LGBTQ. Okay. So they're about a 2 to 3, I guess, on the Kinsey scale. I don't pretend to understand it. I don't really know, but I accept it. My oldest daughter has recently explained to me what polyamorous is. That is how she is choosing to identify. Apparently, my interpretation of what she said is that you can love anybody and sleep with anyone. We called that being a slut when I was young. I don't pretend to understand it. I don't know, but I accept it. I accept it. My youngest son, who is my greatest challenge in my life, oh dear God, he is what I would have called Liberace gay. He's definitely up there on that scale. He is my favorite. I'm invited to hang out with. We have so much fun. And this kid calls me up the other day and he goes, "Ma, kissed a girl last night." "You what?" "Yeah, I made out with this girl." "Why?" I'm disappointed." "Why did you do that?" And he says, "Mom, she was having a rough day." Are you kidding me right now? There are a million hetero guys that could fuck with their head and you decide you're gonna do it. What is up with that? I'm not really sure where I fall on the Kinsey scale. It's got to be somewhere between promiscuity and definite polyamorous. But eventually I'm going to get on that diet scale and I'm going to see my vagina one more time. Before I die. I might actually find the right dick that's attached to the swipe right thing. In the meantime, I think that any of us really want, after we've gone through all the, well, I ran around a lot of blocks. I've gone through a lot of chaos. At the end of the day, I think we all want what my parents had, those ridiculous Catholic, overbearing, Republican parents of mine. Married 59 years, and they wake up and they still see the best in each other. So in the meantime, since I don't hold any hopes for that, I will stay at home. And I will just look at
Cara James, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I've never seen one. My little peek, that was an accident. Keep it going for Cara James, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Good luck with the dieting and dicks. That's been my life. Yeah, I actually gave up fast food a couple years ago. Give it up for me. Come on. I remember the moment too. I was at Burger King on Broadway. It's now closed, but I remember I ordered a burger and the woman behind the counter gave me the burger. Then she said to me, "Would you like to contribute to cancer research?" So I gave her back the burger. All right, you guys have been a wonderful audience. Thanks for staying late. I want to bring everyone up on stage who entertained you tonight and give them a big round of applause. My students are so good. Mike Shriver, ladies and gentlemen. April Hassan, April. C.P. Shane, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin Jennings. Catherine Cushing. Dylan Hyde. Do I get it back? And Cara James, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting your friends. It's portlandcomedy.com. Check it out. We've got shows coming up this Friday, more showcases, and some of these students will appear again, comics, and also on March 17th, March 24th. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks for showing up. Good night.
Good job, Cal.
Very talented.